Good evening. Thank you everyone for attending the Environment Committee meeting, or Open Spaces Committee as it's been recalled, on Monday the 19th of August 2024. There are no planned fire drills this evening, so in the case of an emergency, if you do hear it, please exit the building either from the doors behind us or the way in which you came. Next, we have apologies for absence. This evening, we've got apologies from Councillor E. Tyra, N. Thwaite, Steve Bircham, V. Dale, and J. Taylor. Declarations of interest. Does anyone have any declarations of interest on any of the items on the agenda? Or pecuniary interests? None. Next, we have item 4, which is public participation. So at this point, any members of the public, if you'd like to participate, you'd be very welcome to. Thank you, Jay and Patrick, for coming this evening. I know you're particularly here for item 16 on the agenda, which is to discuss the football club. We will be changing the order to bring that in above of item 14. We can suspend standing orders to allow you to speak then if you'd prefer, but if there's anything you'd like to say now, then you'd be very welcome to. No, you're going to wait?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Hind? No? Okay. We will proceed. So next we have the minutes of the Open Spaces Committee on the 15th of July 2024. Everyone's had those in advance of the meeting. Can I have any amendments or a proposal and seconder to their acceptance? Is that a proposal? Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Wenham, and a show of hands, please. That is unanimous. Thank you very much. Next, we have item 6, the Jubilee Wood notified planning application for variation of obligation is in. Do you need a resolution, or is this just
no? This is just for information, really, just to say that the planning application is, funnily enough, it was on the agenda for the planning and highways meeting. So we're just waiting now for the process to take place and consultation, and hopefully we'll get a good result from that. It will be approved.
Thank you very much. And I know there's been a lot of backwards and forwards and a lot of hoops to go through and a lot of planning to get us into this position. So thank you very much.
I just want to add to that I also now have sent the letter to claim ownership of the land. So I've replied to Simon Wood of Planning so that he can then notify the Hill Group, and then hopefully they can then get the process for ownership in place.
Brilliant. And I think the deadline's December, so I think we're
17th of December. Yeah.
Thank you. Next, we have item 7, correspondence. Commission sought to use Queen Square for 80th anniversary of Operation Market Garden. The email was in the meeting papers. Do members have any comments? Any objections?
I think it's a lovely idea. We should be supporting these types of events, whether it's via a club or an individual. I'm happy for it to.
Is that a proposal?
I'm happy to propose
I'll
that.
second that.
Oh, I think Councillor Dalton beat you to that.
Are you going to fight over it, boys? No. So Jerry, we'll have Jerry seconding, and a show of hands, please. Unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have item 8, which is the Scout Lease boundary fencing information, consideration and resolution. Sharon, is there anything else that you'd like to leave?
Just to say that I've been in touch with the chair of Scouts, and I just need a clarification, really. I'm not
necessarily after a resolution tonight. Just to let you know that on the Network Rail side, that is all their fence. Then she said that on the recreation side, the 2 pieces each side of the gate are the town councils. So just so that we know as we enter into the lease. So
and this is for information only.
Just for information, yeah.
Thank you very much. Next, we have item 9, the church wall update for information. Shall I hand back over to you on this one as well?
Yeah, that we're now still waiting for the diocese, or sorry, for the church to put an application into the diocese. Last I spoke to them, they actually hadn't done that, which I thought they had. So I've commissioned the company to come along on a certain date last month, and then the church quickly intervened and said, oh, actually, we haven't even put the application in. So we've got, the company are okay with that. They're still going to honour the price. And yes, so that's the position at the moment. It's just taking a little bit longer, which is a bit frustrating. I did ask the church, I was advised that perhaps the church could put sort of like an urgency on it, because there is an emergency application you could put through. but the church was of the opinion that it wasn't such an emergency that it warrants filling that particular form in. So we're going to have to just go through the normal channels. So that was a little bit frustrating, but anyway, it's still underway and the ball isn't in our court. So
Okay, thank you very much. Item 10, to discuss outdoor events on our open spaces 2025 for consideration and resolution. I asked Sharon to add this item to the agenda. I think we have some fantastic events that already take place in the summer months, Pride being one of them, which was only a few weeks back. But I did wonder if we actually make the most of our open spaces and whether or not it's one of, it is one of the statutory responsibilities that town council have is events. That's one of our ambitions. And we used to have an events committee, which we no longer have. But I did wonder if perhaps a working group might be preferable to work on some events and then bring those proposals back to either open spaces or full council or general purposes, wherever Sharon feels is most appropriate. To try and give a little back, I think we're delivering a lot at the moment in terms of improving accessibility and working towards improving our open spaces. But I think that, and this is some things that are one of which is close to my heart. So our outdoor cinema event, not so close to my heart, but that was brilliant. And it was the response that we received was great. And to have an event that's free to the town, I think was really appreciated. And most councillors did participate in, largely, and were on site and present throughout those days. So actually see how well it worked. But I also personally would like to do a send day, because I don't think that there's enough signposting or support for families with sent children, and I think that it'd be nice for those parents and families to be, feel seen and heard, and to put something on that would perhaps not cost a lot of money. So I think these are all relatively low budget, like the cinema for 2 days, come in just shy of £3,000, and I think, the Fun Fest team do absolutely fantastic work. But we gave £4,000 to them last month. To support the events that they do, and I'm happy to keep doing that. But I just think it'd be nice if, for a lesser amount, we could do some ourselves as well, and just improve the offer that the community has, not to distract from anything, but add to it. So I'm mindful because I had discussed wanting to do a send day with Councillor Bircham, and he's not here this evening. And I actually think that perhaps, even maybe I've not discussed it with her, but I think that might be something that Councillor Dale would be quite interested in. If we could just agree at this point, that whether or not this is something that in principle would like to do, and whether or not we'd like to form a small working party and just bring back maybe a terms of reference and make appointments to it at the next meeting. Councillor S. Taylor.
When you say could we consider this is something that we would be mindful to do, are you specifically wanting support for the Sens Day, or are you wanting support for a general, let us give more back? Let's sort of...
Yeah, I think at this point quite vaguely, and I think that should you be supporting the working group taking, there's real detail, they could come forward with perhaps a programme of summer events, taking into consideration events that are already held in the summer. I think last weekend there was obviously the Bloom Festival in Old Buckingham. Personally, I would want to do something that coincides with that weekend, because then you're detracting from something that's already local and something that attracts a lot of people. So I think if you had a working party, they could look at how many weekends that you'd want to fill, what the budgets for certain events would look like, and they can work out the detail and bring it back to committee or council as and when. Yes.
I'm happy for that to progress. I would be mindful that the clerk looks at our numbers, does some number crunching, and before a working group goes off on a tangent, which I think was an issue slightly before, that we have a budget for the year, for the summer. So I'm happy to support, but I want that budget and those numbers before anything really progresses anymore. I don't want to be a chicken and egg scenario, but I do think you're right. A SENS day would be lovely, and I think something that could incorporate their siblings as well, because often siblings of SENS children don't always get to do activities together because they are specific to SENS children's needs, and I appreciate that that is what you personally would like to see supported, but there are children that have SENS siblings that I'd like to be included in any event if we could. I'd like it to be an integrated system for those families if possible.
Well, I think the intention would always be that it's for the
Inclusive. Good, that's cool. Do you want me to make that as a proposal? Just the budget.
Need a proposal. I think it's just like in principle agreement whether the members would want this progressing any further before Sharon goes away and works on, any terms of reference for a working group.
And-
Councillor Dolan.
Can we propose to take it to the main council next month?
Will you have time in a week and a half?
Well, even a proposal,
Just for a budget and a terms of
Yeah.
reference.
because it'll
I
be for
can get that
next year.
information for you. I will be at the next meeting. So,
We'll have a meeting on Friday before then,
yes,
so we can discuss.
Update.
Yeah.
So-
okay.
I'll try.
A proposal to take it to the
Proposal.
next meeting. Well, the
The
next
terms of
council.
reference and
A
budget.
proposal for the clerk to go away, number crunch, a reference.
Proposal, please. Councillor Reynolds and Sharon Reynolds, please.
Or was you seconding or did you have a question?
No, secondly.
Oh, that's okay.
That's
Unanimous, yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Item 11. Oh, we've got through this very quickly. The second public participation. Nothing. Next we have item 12, which is items for the next agenda. I think that will be to be confirmed. Obviously the events is going to full council. Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to item 13, which is the exclusion of the press and public. To pass a resolution excluding the press and public from the meeting, given the sensitive nature of the business to be discussed. Obviously, as I said at the beginning of the meeting, we will be making an exception for Jason and Patrick. However, if members would like an opportunity after we've heard from them to discuss in private, then you're very welcome. Okay. Can I have a proposer, please? That's Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Bolton. Sorry, Pete, I keep seeing your hand afterwards, but it's just not in my line of vision. And a show of hands, please.
Yeah.
That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
You can.
Thank you for
Yeah.
attending.